Keep your mouth completely shut. Not because you are weak. Not because you have nothing to say. But because there are moments in life when silence becomes your greatest shield, and one careless sentence can destroy everything you've been praying for. Listen carefully. This message isn't about fear. It's about wisdom. There is a reason the eagle flies higher than every other bird. It doesn't waste its strength arguing with crows. It doesn't announce every destination before taking flight. It simply rises. And today, I want to tell you about a hidden principle that has changed the lives of countless people throughout history. The principle of silent preparation. Have you ever noticed something strange? The moment you excitedly tell everyone about your biggest dream, something changes. Your motivation fades. Unexpected problems appear. Doubt begins to grow. People who smiled at you suddenly become critics. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe there is another explanation. Think about a seed. When a farmer plants it, he doesn't dig it up every morning to show everyone that it's growing. He covers it. Protects it. Waters it. Waits. Only after the roots become strong does the tree reveal itself. Your goals deserve the same protection. There are dreams that must remain underground until they become impossible to destroy. Because not everyone who asks about your future is cheering for your success. Some people are simply collecting information. Some are curious. Some compare. Some secretly hope you fail. And others, without even realizing it, plant seeds of doubt in your mind. You think you can really do that? Isn't that impossible? Be realistic. You should lower your expectations. Those words may sound harmless, but repeated enough times, they become chains around your confidence. That's why today's message begins with only one instruction. Keep your mouth completely shut. Not forever. Just until your actions become louder than your promises. There is incredible power in surprising the world instead of announcing yourself to it. Imagine two builders. The first walks around town every day saying, "I'm going to build the greatest house anyone has ever seen." Months pass. Nothing happens. People laugh. The second builder says almost nothing. He disappears. Works quietly. Faces problems silently. Learns. Improves. One day, he invites everyone to see the finished house. Which builder earns respect? The one who talked, or the one who built? Success has always loved silence. Noise belongs to ego. Results belong to discipline. Most people confuse movement with progress. Posting every idea. Announcing every plan. Sharing every small achievement. Seeking applause before accomplishing anything. But applause cannot replace achievement. Approval cannot replace purpose. Validation cannot replace victory. Ask yourself something honestly. How many dreams have you abandoned because you talked about them too early? How many goals lost their excitement after everyone already knew? How many opportunities disappeared because the wrong person heard about them? Silence is not hiding. Silence is protecting. The greatest transformations often happen where nobody is watching. A butterfly doesn't invite an audience into its cocoon. It emerges only when the transformation is complete. Your life may be in a cocoon season right now. People wonder why you've become quieter. Why you've stopped explaining yourself. Why you've disappeared from unnecessary conversations. Let them wonder. Every minute spent defending your vision is a minute not spent building it. Every argument steals energy from your mission. Every unnecessary explanation delays your progress. The strongest people rarely feel the need to convince everyone. Because truth doesn't require constant advertising. Fire doesn't announce that it's hot. The sun doesn't convince people that it's bright. They simply are. Become so focused on becoming that proving yourself becomes unnecessary. There is another reason to stay silent. Not every battle deserves your attention. Some insults are invitations. Invitations to waste your peace. Invitations to lose your focus. Invitations to become distracted. You don't have to accept every invitation. Imagine someone throwing mud at a mountain. Does the mountain respond? No. It remains standing. Be like the mountain. Stable. Grounded. Unshaken. Some people are waiting for your reaction more than your success. Don't give them either until your success speaks for itself. Because when results arrive, arguments disappear. There is a beautiful mystery about quiet determination. It creates momentum. Every private victory becomes another brick. Every disciplined day strengthens the foundation. Every unnoticed sacrifice prepares an unforgettable breakthrough. The world celebrates the finished masterpiece. It rarely notices the lonely nights, the difficult mornings, the repeated failures, the moments when giving up seemed easier than continuing. Those moments belong only to you. Protect them. They are sacred. Sometimes silence is also an act of healing. You don't need everyone to understand your pain. You don't owe the world an explanation for every tear you've cried. Healing isn't a performance. Growth isn't a competition. Peace isn't earned through public approval. It's built quietly. One decision at a time. One forgiven mistake at a time. One disciplined habit at a time. If you keep announcing every chapter before you've finished writing it, you may never reach the ending you hoped for. So today, close unnecessary conversations. Close pointless arguments. Close the door to constant validation. Open the door to consistent action. Imagine waking up tomorrow with one simple commitment. Less talking. More building. Less explaining. More learning. Less announcing. More achieving. Then repeat it. Again. And again. Week after week. Month after month. Until one day someone asks, "When did all of this happen?" And you'll smile. Because they never saw the work. Only the results. That's the beauty of quiet success. It surprises everyone. including the people who underestimated you, including the people who ignored you, including the version of yourself that once doubted whether you could make it. Keep your mouth completely shut. Not because your dreams are small, but because they are too valuable to expose before they are ready. Protect your vision. Guard your peace. Feed your discipline. Let your consistency become your loudest voice. And when the time finally comes, you won't need to tell the world who you've become. The world will already know. The day you stop explaining yourself, something extraordinary begins to happen. At first, it feels uncomfortable. You notice people asking questions. Why have you become so quiet? Is everything okay? What are you working on? The temptation to answer is powerful. Your mind wants recognition. Your heart wants someone to believe in your vision. But this is the moment that separates dreamers from builders. Because the builder understands something most people never learn. Not every question deserves an answer. Some questions are simply distractions wearing the mask of curiosity. Imagine an archer preparing to hit a distant target. Would it make sense for the archer to stop before every shot and explain exactly how they plan to aim? Of course not. Every explanation steals concentration. Every unnecessary conversation interrupts momentum. Life works the same way. The greatest accomplishments often begin in complete silence. Long before anyone applauds. Long before anyone notices. Long before anyone believes. There is a hidden season that almost nobody talks about. The season where nothing seems to be happening. Your routine feels ordinary. Your progress feels invisible. Your efforts appear unnoticed. This is where most people quit. Not because they lack talent, but because they mistake invisible growth for no growth at all. Think about bamboo. For years after it is planted, almost nothing can be seen above the ground. Many people would assume it isn't growing. But beneath the surface, an enormous root system is expanding, preparing, strengthening, stabilizing. Then one day, it shoots upward with astonishing speed. People call it an overnight success. But they never witnessed the years spent underground. Your own journey may look exactly like that. Perhaps you've been learning quietly, working quietly, failing quietly, improving quietly. Every lesson is another root. Every setback strengthens the foundation. Every disciplined choice prepares you for a future version of yourself that today's world cannot yet imagine. That's why silence matters. Because roots don't need applause. They need patience. And patience is becoming increasingly rare. We live in a world that rewards instant attention, instant opinions, instant reactions, instant validation. But lasting success has never followed the clock of impatience. The strongest buildings require the deepest foundations. The brightest stars spend millions of years forming before they shine across the sky. Even dawn arrives without making a sound. Have you ever noticed that? The most beautiful moments in nature happen quietly. The sunrise doesn't announce itself. The moon doesn't compete with the sun. The ocean doesn't argue with the river. Everything fulfills its purpose without demanding attention. There is wisdom in that. Maybe your purpose isn't to convince everyone. Maybe your purpose is simply to remain faithful to the work you've been given. People often confuse visibility with value. But some of the most valuable things in life are invisible. Trust, character, discipline, integrity, courage. No one can measure them by looking at you. Yet they determine almost everything about where your life is headed. When nobody is watching, who are you becoming? That question matters far more than who is watching you. Because audiences change. Opinions change. Trends change. But character follows you into every opportunity. Suppose you were handed 2 keys. One key opens every door immediately. But every door closes just as quickly. The second key takes years to shape. Yet once it opens a door, that door remains open for a lifetime. Which key would you choose? Most people chase speed. Very few pursue permanence. Choose permanence. There will be moments when silence feels lonely. Moments when everyone else seems to be celebrating while you're still preparing. Moments when comparison whispers. They're ahead of you. They're doing better. They've already arrived. Comparison is a thief wearing a familiar face. It steals gratitude. It steals confidence. It steals focus. But it can only steal what you allow it to touch. The truth is, you were never given someone else's assignment. You were given your own. Your timeline is different. Your lessons are different. Your destination is different. So why measure your progress using someone else's clock? The oak tree doesn't envy the rose. The mountain doesn't envy the ocean. Each fulfills its purpose in its own season. You can do the same. There is another danger in speaking too soon. Premature celebration. Research has shown that simply talking about a goal can create a temporary feeling of accomplishment. Your brain receives some of the emotional reward before you've done the difficult work. That satisfaction becomes a trap. Instead of building the future, you begin living off the excitement of talking about it. Don't confuse excitement with execution. Excitement fades. Execution transforms. Every morning gives you another opportunity to choose between the two. Talk. Or build. Announce. Or prepare. Seek attention. Or create impact. History remembers impact, not announcements. Imagine walking through a forest after a powerful storm. Some trees have fallen. Others remain standing. What made the difference? Not appearance. Not height. Not popularity. Roots. The storm revealed what was already true beneath the surface. Life does the same. Challenges reveal foundations. Pressure reveals character. Silence gives you time to strengthen both before the storm arrives. So if life feels unusually quiet right now, don't rush to fill the silence. Listen to it. Sometimes silence teaches lessons that noise could never explain. Sometimes the absence of constant conversation allows you to hear your own thoughts for the first time. And sometimes, the greatest breakthrough begins with one simple decision: to stop telling everyone what you're going to do, and quietly become the person capable of doing it. Because when preparation finally meets opportunity, you won't need a speech. You'll simply be ready. There is one question that almost no one asks. Yet the answer can completely change the direction of a person's life. What if your greatest opportunity is waiting? Not for more talent. Not for more money. Not for better timing. But for greater self-control? Think about that for a moment. How many opportunities have disappeared? Not because someone lacked ability, but because they spoke too soon, reacted too quickly, trusted the wrong person, or allowed emotions to make decisions that wisdom should have made. Life has a way of rewarding restraint. The strongest bridge isn't the one built the fastest. It's the one that can withstand the greatest pressure. Your character works exactly the same way. Every day, life quietly asks you questions. Will you react? Or respond? Will you chase attention? Or pursue excellence? Will you speak? Or will you observe? Observation is a forgotten superpower. The quiet person often notices what everyone else misses. They notice patterns. They notice intentions. They notice opportunities hiding inside ordinary conversations. While everyone else is busy trying to be heard, they are learning, collecting information, understanding people, preparing their next move. Imagine walking into a room where 10 people are talking at once. Everyone wants to impress. Everyone wants to be the smartest. Everyone wants the final word. But in the corner sits one person. Listening. Watching. Smiling. That person often leaves the room knowing more than everyone else combined. Because information flows toward the listener, not toward the loudest speaker. This is why silence is never empty. It is full of awareness. The more aware you become, the fewer mistakes you make. And sometimes, one avoided mistake is worth more than 10 successful decisions. There is another truth that many people discover too late. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Read that again. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Your dreams are precious. Your plans are valuable. Your next chapter is still fragile. Would you hand the blueprint of your future to someone who has never built anything themselves? Probably not. Then why hand your confidence to people who constantly question your potential? Protect your mind. Protect your peace. Protect your purpose. Every masterpiece begins as something fragile. A sculptor protects unfinished work. A writer guards early drafts. A musician practices in private before stepping onto the stage. Why? Because unfinished things require protection. So does your future. There will always be voices. Some encouraging. Some doubtful. Some jealous. some simply careless. If you allow every voice into your mind, you'll lose the ability to hear your own. That inner voice matters. It reminds you why you started. It reminds you what you've survived. It reminds you who you're becoming. Don't silence that voice just because the crowd is louder. The crowd changes its opinion every day. Conviction remains. There is a story told about an old craftsman. For years, people walked past his workshop. From outside, nothing seemed impressive. Only dust, noise, half-finished pieces. Many assumed he wasn't accomplishing much. Then one morning, the doors opened. Inside stood a masterpiece unlike anything the town had ever seen. People asked, "When did you make this?" The craftsman smiled. "I've been making it every day. You simply weren't paying attention." That is how real progress works. It accumulates quietly. One disciplined decision. One extra hour. One difficult conversation avoided. One distraction ignored. One promise kept. None of these seem extraordinary alone. Together, they build an extraordinary life. Success rarely arrives through one dramatic moment. It arrives through thousands of ordinary moments handled extraordinarily well. Never underestimate small victories. The habit of waking up when you said you would. The discipline to continue when motivation disappears. The courage to stay focused while everyone else is distracted. These victories are invisible. But they are powerful. Remember this. The tree does not grow because someone watches it. It grows because its roots continue doing their work in darkness. Your effort doesn't become valuable only after someone notices it. It is valuable the moment you choose consistency over comfort. Many people spend years trying to look successful. Very few spend years becoming successful. Choose the second path. It takes longer. It feels quieter. It demands patience. But its rewards cannot be taken away by changing opinions or passing trends. One day, someone will say, "You've changed." They'll notice your confidence, your calmness, your discipline, your results. They'll wonder what happened. They won't realize that your transformation began long before it became visible. It began the day you stopped seeking permission. The day you stopped announcing every step. The day you stopped arguing with people determined to misunderstand you. Instead, you simply kept walking. There is incredible freedom in no longer needing everyone to agree with you. Because agreement is not a requirement for progress. History is filled with people who were doubted before they were admired. Mocked before they were celebrated. Ignored before they were respected. What separated them wasn't luck. It was endurance. They continued after the excitement disappeared. They remained faithful after the applause stopped. They trusted the process when nothing around them seemed to confirm it. Can you do the same? Can you continue even when nobody notices? Can you remain disciplined when no one is applauding? Can you keep building while the world assumes you've stopped? If the answer is yes, then you've already developed something more valuable than talent. You've developed resilience. And resilience has a remarkable habit of turning ordinary people into extraordinary examples. So tonight, resist the urge to explain. Resist the urge to defend. Resist the urge to prove yourself. Instead, return to your work. Return to your purpose. Return to the quiet place where dreams stop being words and begin becoming reality. Because the loudest announcement you will ever make will not come from your mouth. It will come from the life you build in silence.